for those that are in Nigeria to relocate to the UK. And with me having this presentation is Hayodele Babatunde, who is a UK registered nurse like myself, and recently he actually attained his licensure certification from Canada to become a Canada nurse. So um
So, am I still visible to you?
yes, you're visible to me. I can see you clearly.
All right, good.
So yeah, so clearly today we're going to be having the presentation, really not necessarily presentation, but like a conversation on how you can sponsor yourself to the UK as a registered nurse. All right, so starting I would say, to relocate to the UK right now as a registered nurse, you need to write some certain exam, take up some certain steps, which, as everybody will know popularly, is writing your IELTS and CBT. However, it's becoming challenging to get sponsorship job in the UK. Hence, a lot of people have actually benefited from taking the sponsorship route, meaning you would actually sponsor yourself to the UK to take the OSCE exam and then secure a job, and then you can actually come back to the UK to work. So this is something that has become important because of the current situation that a lot of Nigerian nurses, first of all, regarding the red list, that has actually reduced the opportunity and chances of nurses to join or to relocate to the UK. Secondly, job vacancies are becoming more strict and the options are becoming less. So it is very, very important that if you're a nurse in Nigeria that you are still interested in relocating to UK and you pass your IELTS and CBT, you need to explore the option of sponsoring yourself. You know, while a lot of people are still having that luck of getting sponsorship visa and getting people that can sponsor them from the UK to come and work as a nurse in Nigeria, for those that are not lucky, it's better you look at alternatives, especially when you know you have that capacity. So that is what we're going to be discussing. And AY has agreed to join us today to do the breakdown of the processes and the steps on how you can sponsor yourself as a Nigerian nurse down to the UK. Over to you.
Um, Hi everyone. My name is Ayo. I'm a registered nurse, and just like Abiodun has rightly introduced, um, the whole purpose of having this self-sponsorship pathway is to enable nurses from overseas to be able to come by themselves to have their OSCE done and have their UKRN pin. It's quite difficult these days to get job, and that is coupled with a lot of reasons, Nigeria being on the red list, and all of that. I have quite a number of friends that have reached out to tell me that they've been looking for job, they've not gotten jobs. And honestly speaking, this self-sponsorship pathway is not entirely new. It's something people have been doing and it has been successful. So it's more or less like if we are not getting job, why not let's come over by ourselves to get the OSCE done and get our pin. So basically, I'm just quickly going to run an overview. Um, so the OSCE exam is what overseas nurses are coming over to write. And before you can come over to write your OSCE here in the UK, you must have successfully passed your CBT exam in your home country. So what is this OSCE we are talking about? It's just an objective structured clinical examination. Is a practical
Yes.
examination and it entails 10 stations, and it is being written in the five centers we have here in the UK. Um, so the whole essence is when you write your OSCE, you get your pin and it becomes more easy for you to get job. I know a lot
Yeah.
of who have been studying hard and preparing for OSCE. But just to reiterate, you can always watch YouTube videos on, procedures, OSCE procedures, and get yourself familiarized with how it is going to be done when you come over here. You can also engage yourself in private, online, and physical coaching classes. I know few of my friends that did online and physical coaching classes for their OSCE preparation. And to cap it all as well, Nursing and Midwifery Council UK will also give you OSCE materials once you book your OSCE. They are going to send you, OSCE materials that you can use to prepare. And another important tip is I've been seeing quite a number of OSCE preparation groups on WhatsApp and Telegram. So it's going to be very beneficial if you can join those platforms, and gain one or two things from there. So, without wasting much of time, I would quickly run through the whole process. I'll start with the required documents that you need to be able to apply for your visa and come over to write your exam. So the kind of visa you are going to need is the visitor's visa. So
Okay.
it is a short-term type of visa that allows you to just come for a little while, while you sort out your OSCE examination. And when you're talking about the documents you need to gather, you need to understand that it's not just all about the OSCE examination, but it's also all about you meeting the admissibility criteria when it comes to the UK immigration, pathway as well. Um, but number one thing you need to get, as funny as this may sound, you need to have your valid international passport. Um, I know some people will be like, passport is definitely number one thing. Will be on
Yeah.
the list. As funny as it may
Yeah.
sound, I can
Mm.
some people might have forgotten their passport is expiring in the next 1 month or 2 months, or so your international passport must be valid. Then you need police certificate, which is just like um, more like a criminal background check from your home country to show that you are not a criminal trying to escape your home country. So you need that one as well. You will need your registered nurse certificates and licenses. Um, these
Okay.
are these are your registered nurse, RM, RN, BNSC, everything that has qualified you to be a registered, nurse back in your home country. You need those certificates. Um, one of the documents you also need is the NMC decision letter. Now, if you cast your mind back to when you wrote your CBT, which is the theory part in your home country, Nursing and Midwifery Council of UK must have sent you a decision letter. So this decision
Yeah.
letter, like an invitation from Nursing and Midwifery Council UK to invite you over to come and write the next stage, which is the OSCE here in the UK. So you need this document as well. You'll be needing your IELTS. So with regards to the IELTS, it's still the same academic that you'll be needing to use to come and write your OSCE. Then, okay, so I'll talk about the bank statement, which is very important. So for the
Quickly, sorry, AY. Let me just ask. Let me just use this opportunity to ask about the need for your certificate. For you to apply for the visitor visa, do you need the NMCN verification?
no, because you must
Okay.
have done the NMC verification at the beginning stage when you are having your registration with NMC UK. So is the
Okay.
verification only happens in between the two boards of nursing, that is Nigeria, UK, or whichever country you are with the NMC UK.
Hmm.
Mm,
Yeah. Okay.
yes. So for the bank statement, you need to be able to prove your financial profile, um, because they don't want you being a visitor in their country and having to, you know, rely on their public funds to survive. So they want to
Mm,
know that you have adequate, funds to be able to cater for your trip, back and forth. Um, you also need, for those of us that don't have people that they can, stay with, you need to sort out the hotel and accommodation reservation. Um, Abiodun, I think the average cost of hotel per night in the UK, I mean, it depends on the location where you're going to be staying, but I think the average cost should be about, I think, 40 to 50 pounds thereabout, to be on the low side, if you know what I mean.
I do, I do, I
Yeah.
do. There are multiple options for accommodation in the UK for those that are looking to go through this route. Because, like you said, one of the requirements is an evidence for your hotel reservation. However, there are multiple ways of you accommodating yourself in the UK. There's Airbnb, which is slightly more affordable. But
Yes.
Ewa, do you think the immigration would accept your Airbnb hotel reservation as an evidence to show you have reserved an apartment where you'll be staying during your process in the UK?
Yes, they will, as long as,
Um,
so far it is Airbnb, be it Airbnb, be it hotel reservation, because
okay.
all those things are, I think they are generated online. They, give you receipts for it. They confirm
Yes.
the dates you'll be staying there, and yeah, so they will definitely accept those. That's as accommodation reservation document. Yeah, so that is accepted, no doubt. And for people
Okay.
that have who they can stay with, all you need to do is have the person write a letter, to confirm that they are willing to, host you during your stay in the UK. And yeah, that's just basically it for the accommodation part. So
Lovely.
another important document is you need to get the employer reference letter. This employer reference letter is the letter you get from your current employer in your home country, which is going to state that you are, their full-time permanent staff, that you receive so amount of money per year, and you work so number of hours, per week, and that you have requested for leave to, write your exam in the UK, which is scheduled for so time, and when you come back, your job will still be valid and waiting for you. That usually serves as a strong ties to convince the immigration, that you'll be returning back to your country. You have every reason to return back to your country because you have a valid job waiting for you.
Lovely. I want to ask, on behalf of those that don't have a job in Nigeria and they are looking to explore this option, what would be your recommendation?
Well, I'll say, it depends on the category of people. I know, some people must have done their internship, wondering if it is acceptable. Yes, your internship is serves as a form of experience. I know quite a lot of people that, used only their internship placement. I know people that they've done NYSC and they've used their internship, NYSC placement as their employer reference, and just to prove like they have something ongoing. And
So, so it's major. If you don't have a job now, you can use your previous employer.
yes, you can,
Okay.
there's no point
Brilliant.
that you have when you don't have, honestly speaking.
Okay.
So you don't
Yeah.
complicate things. Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, it's very very important that there's a clarification of that. If you don't have a job presently as a nurse and you can self-sponsor yourself for this pathway, you can actually use your previous employer to prove that yes, you have some work experience. But I think what you're trying to emphasize more, if I get you correctly, is that don't lie if you don't have evidence
Yeah,
to back
because
up.
when
Yeah.
you submit your statement of account, it might they might I don't know what they look for in all of those things, but
Mm.
it would be nice for them to now realize that, there's nothing coming in as per the employer you've stated that you work with. When you say you work
Mm.
in an hospital and they can't really pinpoint on your statement of account that something is coming in from that employer every month.
Yes.
So then it puts you on a disadvantage.
Yes. Yes.
So another document that is very important is you need you need letters. When I mean letters, it's letter of purpose. You as a person coming to the UK, you need to write a letter of purpose. You need to state the reason why you're coming over. Like we mentioned, there are different reasons why you can be on a visitor's visa. You can come as a tourism, you can come to visit your family member, but because you're coming to write your exam, you need to write a letter of purpose, that you introduce yourself in that letter that you registered nurse with Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. You are in the process of registering with NMC UK, and as part of the requirement, you've done your CBT in Nigeria, and it's expected of you to come over to the UK to write the OSCE. You've gotten decision letter from NMC UK, and that you've also gotten, approved annual leave from your employer. Don't forget that your employer must have also written that you've applied for leave, which has been granted. So it's more like there's synchrony in what you say, what your employer is also saying, and that is the letter of purpose, telling them what you are coming here to do, letting them know that you've booked your OSCE examination for so date by attaching the confirmation as well. And then yeah, so
So before you continue, that letter of purpose that
yeah,
you're going to be writing to the immigration,
yeah.
is there a place where nurses that are looking to go through this route can get a sample of that letter so that they know what they are going to, add in the letter? Because if you are using this route, you need a sample, of letter to write so that I can just edit the sample. Is there a way they can get a sample? Or they should just go online and
If they are able to get online, fine. If they want, you know, personal consultation, I'm sure they can reach out to you and all of that. Yeah,
oh, okay, okay.
just get.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just needed to clarify that. So if you're interested in getting like a sample letter, just send us an email. Then we should be able to arrange that for you. I'll put my email in the comment box.
okay. So the last document you need is your OSCE confirmation, booking confirmation. So once you pay the £794, you get a confirmation email from the center that you are going to use. Like I said, we have like 5 centers here in the UK, so they are going to send you a confirmation of your booking that okay, you are scheduled for so date at so time and at so center. Yeah, so that is also going to be part of the document you need to submit with your visa application. So for the flight booking, I always advise people to do that after the visa has been approved. Then you can book your flight. Yeah. So
But it's not going to affect your application if you don't book your flight.
no, no,
Okay.
it's not going to affect because you can't be booking a flight for a visa that has not been approved, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it. And the whole visa thing usually take within up to 4 weeks. Let's just say up to 4 weeks. Some takes 2 weeks, 4 weeks from the moment you provide your biometrics, anyways. And for the biometric submission, they are basically, I know of two centers in Lagos. There's the Ikeja, which is free, and there's one in VI, which requires you to pay to access their facility.
Okay.
Yes. So, yeah. So I'll
Is
put,
there a fast track result for your application? Can you fast track the
yes.
result?
Yeah, I mean, you can. So that's, I think the one in VI, I remember back then, um, they had option for people that even wanted to be in a lounge while they are being called to submit their document. They have various services. That's just what I'm trying to say. If you want premium package, there's premium package in the one of VI. If you want this social package, they have different package. You just have to select at the point where you are trying to book for your biometrics. They will definitely ask you those questions. Do you want is this super plan they usually call it? I'm not really sure at the moment.
Super
So
priority plan.
super power
Yeah,
unit, yeah. But
super
I don't know if
priority.
it's available for visiting, but I know they have something like that, and they're going to ask you when you're doing your biometrics. So if you want all those kind of, package, you can specify. It's just gonna be your money that will tell. Yeah. So I'm going to quickly run through the financial implication.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that this is the most important part for those that are watching. You want
mm,
to pay attention here. Um, Sorry, can I just quickly, for the sake of those that will rewatch the video, can I just quickly run through all the documents that you just mentioned?
yeah,
I appreciate the fact that you mentioned those documents and you explain what is needed, but I'm just going to run through them. So, for your documents, number one, you need your international passport, you need your police clearance certificate. Is it the one that they collect in Ikoyi?
I think that
The
depends on the location because Lagos zone, I
okay,
know they collect from Ikoyi. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, and then you need your registered nurse certificate and license. Do you need certificates and license or just the
major reason
certification?
why it's good to attach this for your visa application, but honestly speaking, I just feel like you have this document. Why not attach it there to prove that you have something ongoing?
Okay, so it's better since you have
Back
the
it up,
document. It's
yeah,
better you yeah.
clean it up, yeah,
Okay,
because
so yeah,
either ways you're going to still need them to do your ID check when you get to the UK. So
okay.
yeah,
Then letter of purpose and then sponsor. Did you mention sponsor letter?
yeah. So for the sponsor, no, I didn't really go into the sponsor.
Yeah, if you can just explain that sponsor letter.
Okay, so usually some people don't usually have this because I was going to talk about the amount it's going to cost in total, which is the amount you should have for your proof of funds, which is usually between 5M to 8 million naira. So, but
Okay.
for some people, they may not have this amount of money available to them in their bank account. So, but they may have people, let's say their mom, their dad, uncle, people that are close to them that are willing to actually support them, to
Mm,
sponsor them to come and write this examination. So those are the kind of people that will need a sponsor letter.
yes.
So people
Yeah.
that don't have the money, but they have people around them that are willing to actually help them with the whole process, then they will
Mm,
need a sponsor letter because the sponsor will write a letter to also back them up that okay they are going to be responsible maybe for their accommodation, for their feeding, for their flights, for the everything that contains that has to do with the whole trip, and they're also going to attach their bank statements to show that they are able to sponsor you.
mm,
And yes, so if they're in the UK, yeah, they also attach documents, their right to be in the UK, like that's their BRP card just to show. And sometimes they may need to also attach maybe a month pay slip just for the immigration to see that they are having a good amount of money coming to them every month.
mm.
So they
So
can,
so
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 that yeah,
I think that's really, really clear.
mm,
Sponsorship letter and letter of purpose.
yeah.
Then you mentioned bank statement. Is there anything to be aware of in the bank statement? Maybe like how long bank statement? Is it 1 year bank statement, six
No,
months, 3 months, or
no.
1 month?
No, so for the bank statement, it varies actually, but I always advise, average of 3 to 4 months bank statement.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And you mentioned the next document is hotel or accommodation reservation,
yes,
your employer reference letter, your
yes,
NMCN decision letter. That NMCN decision letter, to be clear on that, that decision letter was an email that was sent to the applicant, right? All they
y-
need to do is to print it out, isn't it?
yes,
Okay. And then your original IELTS certificate.
yes,
Okay. For the immigration purpose, we have multiple types of IELTS. For
yes.
this purpose of your application, do you need academic or general or UKVI IELTS?
It's basically the academic because that's what they've been using for their registration. So it's also acceptable, the academic.
Okay.
UKVI is majorly designed for immigration. Yeah, it's acceptable to scale through immigration. But when it comes to your registration with Nursing and Midwifery Council, you will need the academic. So I feel if you have the academic, it works both ways. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I just want to put it out there. It just the thought I just thought about it now that just a brief caveat for those that are listening and for those that are going to rewatch this. Myself and AY, we are not immigration consultants. We are registered nurses in the UK. But peradventure, some of you are listening to us to the recommendation and advice. You guys to seek professional advice on your immigration pathways. So yeah, let's just continue. I think I've just listed all the documents that is needed. I'll just allow you to continue on the financial aspect. Am I missing any other documents needed?
No, I think that's just all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's all.
So yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so for the financial application, you need to note that prices that I'm going to give are not going to be they are not constant prices. Some are really constant, but not everything because of the exchange rate and the type of service you're going to apply for. Um, but for the visa application fee, it's been quite constant. I mean, from last year up till now. So that one is $151. And if you use XC.com to convert that amount to Naira, you should be having something between, let's say, 190 to 200,000. Well, I'll just say 200. I'll cap it at 200 to 220,000 for visa application fee.
Okay.
Okay, 200 to 220,000 visa application fee.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. So for the biometric, like I mentioned, if you are using Ikeja, it's free of charge. You don't have to pay any amount. But if you are using the VI, they require you to pay a certain amount of money just to access their own facility there. The money you are paying is not for anything, it's for you to use their building. Like you're coming to us, you're paying that amount to access their facility. I think during when I was applying for visa back then, I think I paid back then, which was about 2, 3 years ago, was around 45,000 naira for people that will be using VI anyways. Then in VI, they also have some packages. You can decide to go for their premium package, super priority, and all of that. So they will calculate everything and give you total amount of money you pay depending on the services you selected. For the OSCE booking, the fee is £794. And when you convert that to Naira, it will be around 1.1 million Naira, thereabout.
Mm.
Right, Abiodun?
Yes, 1.1 million for my calculation.
Yeah, as of today, I think, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm just running online now to do the calculation. Oh yes, correct. One point close is 1.70, but let's just say 1.1 million.
Yes. So 1.1 million Naira for the OSCE booking in Naira. Um, so usually for this OSCE booking, you will need someone that is here in the UK to help you book, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah, I think there's enough clarification on the OSCE booking because of the fact that you can't use your card, your payment card in Nigeria to book for your exam. So for is it only OSCE? I think for any other bookings like the accommodation, you will
Yes,
need someone to help you to do the bookings here. But
yes,
there are a lot of people that offer that services as well to
yes,
help for international payment and all of that. So that shouldn't be difficult. The difficulty part is actually finding that money. Right? I'll be honest with you. I'm speaking for those nurses that actually they would like to sponsor themselves for this particular pathway, but they don't have that financial capacity. You and I know how much some nurses are earning, not up to 100,000, not up to 200,000. For them to be able to gather half a million or 1 million is going to be very difficult and it takes a long time. Most likely, before you even save up, your IELTS is expired. So, what would you say to those nurses that are looking to follow this pathway, but they can't actually afford all these millions that has been mentioned?
yeah. So for such nurses, I think that's where I mentioned earlier the sponsor letter part. So I think that's where they need to search around them and identify who they think will be able to sponsor them. Truthfully, there are some, people that have, they may not have the money, but they have probably parents, they have friends, they have brothers, they have sisters, uncles, aunts that have that money that can easily say, okay, come, I'm going to sponsor you for this whole thing. So you need
Mm,
to approach people like that. And that person, like I said, will write a letter of sponsor to affirm that they are willing and ready to sponsor this person to the UK to write the exam. And then they have to also state in that letter what they will be covering, say feeding, say accommodation, say flight, all of those things must be rightly stated. And they will also be required to drop their statement of account to show that they have enough money to sponsor this person to write their exam. And it is also very important to prove the relationship they have, because it's just more than dropping all these letters, bank statement. They need to also, why are you willing to give this person this huge amount of money? So they
mm,
need to be able to prove the relationship they have. So I'll tell you, people prove relationship by using birth certificate. Some use online bank transactions. Maybe they've sent money to each other over time. Some use pictures. Yeah, so it ranges. Just look for that peculiar thing between you and that person that
yeah.
wants to sponsor you, and I'm sure you'll be able to figure out um the type of documents they can submit. And also, if you want consultation, you can also reach out to Abiodun, who can also guide you through and help you identify documents that you can submit.
Yeah, thank you for sharing light on that. Let me just summarize this from what you have actually mentioned. For those of you that can't afford those millions that has been mentioned, pay for bookings, pay for flight, accommodation. If you have somebody that can sponsor you, either your relative, maybe your uncle, or you have your boyfriend that can sponsor you, or your parent, or one of your family, whatever, even church or any organization can actually sponsor you via this route. The most important thing you need to know is to identify someone that can sponsor you and them providing evidence of that financial capacity to be able to sponsor you. So don't give up if you're listening to us now and you're feeling like, I don't think I can afford this. The question is, if you can't, do you have somebody that you know that can afford it and they are happy to sponsor you? That's an individual question. So carry on, Ewa. Sorry, I just needed to clarify that more.
Yeah, so the next financial cost we'll be looking at, we've actually spoken about it, is the accommodation. It depends on individual now, but we've said the average cost of hotel reservation here in the UK is dependent on the location. So, but we've said average is between £40 to £50. How much is that in Naira, Abiodun?
Um, to the best of my knowledge, just budget like 70,000 to 100,000 for
Per
that
night.
per night. Yes, but I think the cheapest is to find somebody that you know that are in the UK here that can accommodate you for that period. That
Yes.
way you save some cost. But if there's no option for that, then yeah, budget 70,000 naira per night in pounds for your hotel accommodation here in the UK. But I
So,
think we
you
need
mean?
to add feeding as well and transport, isn't it?
Yes, feeding, transportation within the UK as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Because you might
So
need
maybe budget of 100,000 per day.
yes, because you need to transport yourself to the exam center. Sometimes you need to look for job and you need to transport yourself to the location. So you need all those little money. They are very important as well.
Yeah. That's the nurse needs to budget that really.
Yeah. So for people, I've had people come to my DM asking how much is it going to cost in total. I've just I put a range here, between 5 to 8 million naira.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh. In naira, 5 to 8 million naira.
Yes.
Okay. Lovely. Lovely. Yeah.
So
Okay, now so let's just carry on. Yes.
yeah. So when you apply for just one thing before we go ahead. So because there's a point where you have to book your OSCE. This is just like a tip. Um, if you have, let's say I have 5 million naira and I haven't booked my OSCE, I know that if I book my OSCE, it's going to reduce the total number of amounts I have. What I would advise is you print your statement of account first and then you book your OSCE, if that makes sense, just for you to.
Hmm, that's very, very wise.
Yeah,
Instead of booking for your ski before you then print out your bank statement, it's better
yeah,
you print. Yes, 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 so that you have enough evidence to show that you can sponsor yourself while you're in the UK.
yes, because if you have 5 million, you've removed 1.2 million for OSCE booking, then it's no longer 5M. Sure, you get. Yeah, so that's it. And then the last one is flight fee, and that will be after the visa has been approved. So that one is dependent on the airline you want to use. Airpeace is operating now, and I think their prices are on the economical side. It's quite cheap. I've seen some, and it's really cheap. Yeah,
Yes, yes. And in the advent of airpiece, you would agree with me that air ticket fee has actually dropped down a lot, so it's quite affordable now.
okay.
Affordability is relative to individual circumstances, but yes, there's multiple options, and the earlier you book your flight, the better. However, like you mentioned earlier during this presentation, that don't book your flight until you actually have the result or the decision for your visa application. So once you're successful, then you can start considering booking your flight as early as possible.
Yes. So, having talked about the visa application process, so you gather your document, then you apply for your visa. Yeah. So
Hmm.
once your visa will take up to 4 weeks, like I said. Once the visa is out, you can either expect two results, refusal or approval.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about the refusal first. So,
Okay.
so in
Yeah.
case you applied for visiting visa, and it came out as refusal, which is what we don't want. But these are ways to go about it. Don't be sad, but don't be discouraged. You can get it right in the next application. But first thing you should do is to request for refund of your OSCE fee. And honestly speaking, they've done so well by their refund policy is really friendly. They said if you apply for refund 3 weeks before your exam, you will get the total fee you paid. So in that
Hmm.
aspect, if you want to write your exam in July, don't go and apply for visa in June in such a way that just in case the refusal thing happens, you'll be having enough time to request for refund, if you know what I mean. So, but the first thing to do is request for refund of your OSCE fee. The second thing is to request cancellation and refund of the hotel fees. Everything you know that you've booked in the UK that can be refunded, that is the moment you have to do that. And the most
I think
important,
it's better, you have this in mind when you are booking, to be sure that you book for something that you can get refund, because there are options. There are some bookings that you can't get refund. So it's
yeah,
better that when you are booking for anything, while you are still awaiting your decision, you ensure that you actually have that option to get a refund, just in case there's a refusal of your visa application.
yeah. OSCE fee is always refundable. The one Abiodun is talking about is that, especially that hotel reservation. Yeah.
Mm,
So the last thing you should do in case of refusal is you need to address the feedback. When a visa is being refused, they will give a reason for refusal, and you just need to address those concerns and submit another application. Sometimes it might be due to personal error while submitting application. There are things that are easily amendable in most cases, actually. So you just need to address them before you submit another application. Don't be in a hurry to quickly submit another one. Address it first before submitting another application. So, but if you submit application and it's been approved, which is what we all want, then that is the point where you need to book your flight. So we mentioned that one, we won't be going back to that. So So two things should be at in your mind when you are leaving Nigeria or wherever country you are coming from. So first is your OSCE, how you're going to write your OSCE and pass. Second is how you are going to secure a job before you return back to your home country, right?
Mm,
So for the OSCE, writing of OSCE and passing it, we've mentioned earlier all the resources and how you can prepare for your OSCE. We've mentioned that at the beginning of this video. Then for getting a job, I'm just going to share some tips on how to get a job while you're on your visitor's visa. So first thing is for you to attend open days. Now you want to
mm,
ask me what are open days? So here in the UK, open days, they are like events that happen that employers actually source for people with potentials, people that can help them fill in a particular gap. Take for instance, there might be shortage of nurses in a particular NHS hospital, and in order for them to be able to fill in that gap, they may organize these open days in the sense that they invite people to come. If you know you have what it takes to be a nurse to work for us, come. Then you go there, you speak to them, explain your situation to them. You're on a visitor's visa, you are looking forward to getting a sponsorship job, and that you've passed your husky, you are just awaiting pin. Majority of these open days, they do right on spot interview. Um, if you do well in your interview, they give you job the same day. So that's the good thing about open day. Is that well explanatory, Abiodun?
yes, it is. I think the most important thing is whenever you come to the UK, your two priorities must be set at number one, passing your OSCE examination, which is paramount because if you don't pass, remember you paid for the OSCE exam for in millions. If you don't pass, then the whole purpose of sponsoring yourself is defeated. So all efforts must be on top gear to pass your OSCE. Then your second priority is to get a job. So while you're studying for your NCLEX, sorry, your OSCE examination, you then start applying for jobs in the UK. Yes, while you're on your visitor visa, you can get a job in the UK. You can't work. Clarify me if I'm wrong, AY.
No, you're right.
While you're on visitor visa in the UK, you can't work in the UK, but you can apply for a job. So when you then apply, get a job after the interview, you would have to come back to Nigeria, or you can switch your visa from work visa to from visitor visa to work visa. But the two most important priority here is your OSCE and you getting a job.
Yes. So another way you can secure a job while on visitor visa is to continue your online application via Track and other UK jobs search websites. But your target will still be on jobs that have sponsorship. So the difference here is that while you were in Nigeria, I'm sure there are some jobs that would always put restriction that they only want people with PIN. And once you have your PIN, that means you can apply for those jobs, right? So, but you still need to target jobs that offer sponsorship because you require sponsorship either
Mm,
ways. Um, while you are on visitors visa, there are some jobs that are meant for people in the UK with sponsorship. Yeah, you can apply for those jobs as long as you can, attend physical interview and still explain your situation. If you do very well, they give you the job because they know that you've paid majority of the processing, you've booked your house, you've written, you've gotten your pin. All it requires is for them to sponsor you, just like they would do for someone that is in UK. All it just requires is to give you that same sponsorship. You go back to Nigeria, apply for work permit, and then you come over and start job immediately. So still continue the online application via Track and apply for jobs that require sponsorship. You can also do hospital walking to see HR. So this is also very important. You don't forget that if you are looking for job, the NHS hospitals, they are always there for you to work in. Identify NHS hospitals around you where you are staying. You can even take train to locations that are not close by to you, just to speak with the HR. Now you see the reason why you need transportation money, all of this. You just walk in, tell them you want to see the HR, explain your situation. You are a visitor, you are a skilled worker, you've written your OSCE, you've passed, you are just awaiting pin, you need a sponsorship job. And you might be surprised they may have something for you. They just ask you to interview with one of their managers and they'll get you on board. Yeah, so but another way you can secure job is to network with registered nurses here in the UK, because the truth is that some UKRNs might have direct link to their HR. They can speak to them, speak on your behalf to them that they have a friend, they have a colleague in Nigeria or even here in the UK that has passed their OSCE, they've gotten their PIN, they are waiting PIN, and all they need is just a sponsorship job. And you never can tell. That's the networking part. So all you just have to do is go for interviews, get the offer letters that are with COS, and that is it. I just need to mention at this point that in case one writes the OSCE and has some receipt, the fee for receipt, irrespective of the station you filled, is £397. Um, I don't know how much that is, except Bjorn is going to convert that for us. But just for you to bear in mind, because some people do fail one station, two stations, easy fix, but it comes with some extra cost of money as well, just to let you know.
Yeah, that's close to 600,000.
Yeah, just to let you know. So, but once you land in the UK, I always advise get a UK number, because when you start looking for all these jobs, some employers might want to get across to you. They contact you via this, UK line that you have, and that also speak that, oh, this person is right here in our country, and yeah, they can easily access you. So get a UK line once you arrive in the UK. Common challenges people usually face, I'm just going to run through this, is first and foremost is fear and anxiety of the unknown. People are anxious, people are fear that what if, after all this money that has been spent into the invested into the process, what if I fail, what if I do this? But the truth is that you just have to give it your best, prepare very well, go for the exam, and I'm sure you're going to pass. Is when you watch all these online YouTube videos on OSCE preparation, it's just very similar to what you are going to come over to come and do. um Another common challenge is failed ID check. For this failed ID check, majority of people don't know that they are meant to pay the final application fee before they write their OSCE. I mean, you may not pay it, and you'll be able to write your OSCE if you don't pay it. But the bad side is that they'll not be able to complete your ID check. If you remember, they ask you to bring all your original certificates when you are coming to the UK for your OSCE. So that is the ID check. They want to see the police certificate, they want to see the IELTS, they want to see your RN certificate physically. Shay, you get what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you have not paid that £153, which is like the final application fee. So if you don't pay that £153, there's no way your application will get to them for them to even process your PIN.
Mm.
So you may pass OSCE, they will congratulate you, yeah, you passed OSCE, but still they will not be able to process your PIN because they've not received your full application
Mm.
at their hand. So before you go for your OSCE, I'd advise you pay the £153 so you don't have this delay with ID check. Because if you don't get to do your ID check on the day of your exam, they'll have to tell you to come back for it. And don't forget, ID check can only be done physically.
Mm.
Yeah, so you need to factor that in. So another challenge is finance, fees of for transporting yourself, cost of living basically. It will be very important if you can have some money with you. Look at, you when you pass your OSCE, you want to look for job, and it will interest you that they may say open day is at a location. And what will require for you to get to the location might just be some, little amount of money. But if you don't have that money for transportation, you're already limiting yourself from getting jobs. You only be limited to, places that you can easily walk to. So try to have some money with you that you can use for transportation while in the UK. And the last challenge people usually have is navigating themselves to the exam center. And this, I would say, use your Google Map. Um, Even people that are here in the UK, even myself, there are times I have to go to London to get one or two things sorted. I still use my Google Map. And I'm sure Abiodun, you also use Google Map
Yeah, I
very.
use it a lot. Yes.
So get used to how you use Google Map. You just have to type your destination, your origin and your destination, and it's going to tell you how you're going to get there, either by car, by train, by all of that. So you need to be very familiar when it comes to navigating yourself around the UK. So I think with that, we've come to the end of the whole process. And yeah, over to you, Abiodun.
Thank you so much. All right. So, for those that are listening, if you have any question, just drop it in the comment section. For those that are going to be watching this video replay, if you have any specific question, just get my email from my channel bio, send an email, and we should be able to answer your question. Like I said earlier, we both are not immigration consultants. All the informations we share here are for educational and information purposes. If you want to carry out all these steps, please seek professional consultation. Yeah, now let's take the first question. It says, I think this person is asking, Mr. Walter, yeah, someone that I know very well. Thank you for joining in. He's asking if you can suggest any OSCE study class or group or YouTube channel, maybe online training or offline training that one can prepare themselves for before they actually come to take the test. I think that's a very, very challenging experience when you actually pay 1 million or 1.2 million for an exam, and you are in Nigeria and you are preparing for that exam and you have no clue of what that exam is, and you are going to be coming to the UK and you want to ensure you pass the exam. So you need to study. And it's not that you don't want to study, but how do you actually study? That's the question. So over to you, AY. What would be your recommendation?
Yeah, so I'll start with the YouTube part, which is the easiest, honestly, because I remember back there, even with the fact that I was sponsored here in the UK to come and write my OSCE, we have education center where we can easily practice, use mannequins to prepare. I remember back then, anytime I get back to my, apartment, I still go on YouTube just to, compare what we've been taught, you know. So when you go on YouTube, you just need to search OSCE, depending on the procedure you want. Take, for instance, ANTT, which is the antiseptic non-touch technique procedure. Just have to tap NMC UK OSCE ANTT. It will bring out several videos that has been done. You just need to filter and see the one that is of standard. If it's blood glucose monitoring, you just need to type OSCE UK OSCE blood glucose. It's going to bring it out for you, and you're going to watch the video. And truthfully, they all helped me during my time. With regards to the online physical coaching and all of that, honestly speaking, I can't really pinpoint and recommend one, because I haven't had the opportunity to use one. I only have friends that whenever I ask them, they be like they are using online coaching, they are using physical this, but I know there are a lot of people that organize coaching for internationally educated nurses here in the UK, but I know it comes with some token, if you know what I mean. So I think
Mm,
it all
mm,
boils down to being on the right platform. Go on
yeah.
Telegram, go on, ask people around. And these days, I don't know, I think that I've seen it on, is it Merchant Nurse or something, that, or is he Express Global or something like that. So, but I'm sure it's something you can easily get when you ask people around, and if you join the appropriate group on Telegram and WhatsApp.
Okay, I think the person wants a specific This person want a specific recommendation for you to say, go to this channel.
Okay, but if okay for that person, let them get across to you. I think we can find something for them.
Okay. I said, what is the news about verification expiration after 1 year, and how is it cause delay in getting your PIN?
Okay. Thank you very much for this. Um, this news about verification expiration after 1 year is true. Because I've had one or two friends that have done their exam, they have done their OSCE here in the UK. They've passed, but after they pass, NMC sends them an email to let them know that their verification that they did at the beginning of the application has expired. So I think it has a duration of 1 year. So what I would advise is that if you are planning this self sponsorship, have it at the back of if you're expire, if you know you've applied and it's over a year, have it at the back of your mind that you're going to do another verification. If possible, get the verification started before you leave. Because truthfully, when you come and you pass your OSCE, you won't be given the pin until they verified you again. That's if your verification has expired. That is very true. I can confirm this. It can delay your pin, yes. So basically, in summary, if you know you've done your verification and it's over a year, have it at the back of your mind that you're going to do another verification. If not, it's going to delay your pin. I think that's okay.
Hmm. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next question. It says, how much is your scale exam and how much is expected to be in my account or the account of my sponsor?
So for the OSCE examination, it's £794, which if converted to naira, and we said it's 1.1 million naira. And with regards to how much is expected to be in the account of the sponsor or even yourself, like I said, the total cost is within a range of 5 to 8 million naira. Just to be able to prove that you have enough funds to cater for yourself while you are here in the UK for your exam.
Lovely. The next question is, for those that have actually gone through this route, what is it like to get a job? I think somebody was asking in another platform. Yes. What is it like to get a job after you have written your OSCE and passed in the UK? Because I think this question is coming from, or let me say, AY will answer this question in regards to what is the current situation of getting a job in the UK for those that are in Nigeria. Why is it that if I am in Nigeria, I have passed my IELTS and CBT, why is it that I can't get a sponsorship job? That I have to go through this self route?
Yeah, so before now, the self sponsorship thing was not rampant because I know during my time they were actively recruiting people from their home country. And recently, just about was it early this year, was it late last year, that the Prime Minister UK said they've reached their target for the promise that they made that they were going to employ people from overseas. So I think that statement made them to reduce the allocated budget that they usually have to bring in internationally educated nurses. Right, that's one. Two, Nigeria itself is on a red list country. They've targeted Nigeria and said Nigeria employers should not actively recruit from Nigeria. So that is one of the challenges people face because it's not like there's no job. You see some application you apply, they will reply with you that they do have job, but unfortunately your country is on the red list.
Hmm.
Able to offer you a job at this time.
Hmm.
So those two things have really limited the 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 amount of job, let me put it like that, that is available to internationally educated nurses. Thirdly,
Hmm.
Nigeria is not allowed to use what's it called agents. I know a lot of countries that we meet on the world. When you ask them, how did you apply? They be like they didn't do the application. They applied through agents, and they were able to get job here and all of that. So all these things is limiting for Nigerians, and that is the reason why we say, okay, fine, this job they still exist. It may not be as rampant as before, but if you are able to get yourself to get this pin, you see that when you go online, they say pin, 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 pin. So now if you have the pin, it makes it easier, isn't it? So that's why we are advertising and say advocating for this self-sponsorship. That okay, if you do this self-sponsorship, you'll be able to have options, varieties of jobs to apply for. And with regards to, are people really getting job after they've passed their OSCE? Yes, I have one, two, like three friends that have gone through this route and they've gotten job. In fact, they've relocated with their family, not just themselves, with their family, and they're already working here. You just need to do all those things, attend open days, walk into CHR, keep applying. Don't forget you now have your PIN. There's no limitation for you with regards to the kind of advert you apply for. You'll be able to apply for more. Do you get what I mean? When you were in Nigeria, they'll ask you when you want to apply for some job, they will say, do you have a PIN? Once you say no in that box like this, they'll say you are not eligible to apply for that job. But now
Hmm.
that you have a PIN, it's going to make it open to you. So that also expands the quantity of job you're able to apply for, if that makes sense.
I think from the last session you said something about walking to the HR.
Yeah, I've mentioned it. Yeah.
Lovely,
Mm.
lovely. Um, I don't think there's any other question. All right. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you, AY, for sharing your experience. By the way, just to put it out there, do you have any personal testimonial of people that have success? Oh, I think you just mentioned that, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just to further elaborate. Do you have anybody that have actually gone through this route and they are successfully now working in the UK?
Yes, I
You
have
know,
I have friends, and sincerely speaking, in their own situation too, it's not like they had the 5 to 8 million naira. But they had people around them that could
they
sponsor
are
them,
the self-sponsor.
and they only got the letter of sponsor. They also wrote letter of purpose. They dropped statement of account. They were able to prove their relationship, and they came over, and they applied. They got the visa. Came over, wrote their house key. They got their pin. Applied for job through all these tips we've shared, and they got the job. Went back, picked up their family and their bags, and they are here working now.
Amazing. All right. Thank you so much, AY. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's live session. I hope you're able to get value and information from this. I wish you guys all the very best. If you have any
Very
personal questions that you'd like to elaborate on or share on, please do me uh, the favor of just sending an email, and we'll try as much as possible to get back to you as quick as we can. Once again, thank you for doing this with us. I wish you guys all the very best in your endeavors. Till we meet again. Peace out.